Here's what's happening in California. It's called SB2. SB2. Anybody know what SB2 is? As gun owners, as CCW carriers, you should know what SB2 is. SB2 is the brand new law they're trying to pass in Sacramento, Senate Bill 2. Back in October, September, October, the Supreme Court ruled that CCW carriers no longer have to ask permission by way of having anybody ever had to fill out that letter for cause before, all you renewals? That's gone. California is a shall issue state now. All 50 states are shall issue. Matter of fact, San Francisco just issued their first CCW in 20, 30 years the other day. Landmark thing. But because of that, California, New Jersey, and New York have said that we are bigger than the Constitution, and they started passing laws. New York got theirs passed in emergency legislation last year. California tried to do it, but didn't have enough votes to do it. But they needed a supermajority last year, but now they're redoing it again this year. And I want to tell you guys a little piece of what is in there. Fair enough? In order for you to get your CCW, you have to be the owner of record of that gun. So a lot of you guys with the sheriff's office have your wives and you sharing guns on your CCW. So if your wife's got to take your gun to the office, she can put it and take it in there without any legal issues, right? No longer will that be available. Training, 16 hours, mandatory minimum. Additional costs and fees will be authorized for the counties that do it. It'll be legal for you to take any firearms on any airport property. Now, how many of you guys hunt? How many of you guys take your own gun when you hunt? Guess what? If you get caught with a gun in the airport at all, even if you're flying with it correctly per TSA, you're breaking the law in California if this law passes. Okay? You cannot be on any sidewalk or street boundary of any school. So if you're walking down the street, like I do sometimes down this way, just being on the sidewalk, you're violating the law. Mental health. We have to do an hour of that 16 hours on mental health resources. A whole hour training you guys how to use the system for mental health. Because of course we're all mentally disabled if we want to carry a gun. Right? There'll be a written examination that must be passed, and I don't know if it's one that we make or the state makes or whatever else, but it has to cover all these mental stuff plus all the other things we talk about in class. So now you'll have like a DMV test to take in order to do it. But this is where it gets fun. Prohibited areas. We talked about a couple already, but here's the one. A building, real property, and parking area in the control of a vendor or establishment where intoxicating liquor is sold for consumption on the premises. Do they sell alcohol at your favorite restaurant? Congratulations. Because before, you weren't supposed to take it into a bar. You know, a standard bar. But you could go into Applebee's, Chili's, any Mexican restaurant, right? Now you've just been banned from carrying in any restaurant in California if this goes through. A building, a real property, or parking area under the control of vendor of establishments and liquors. Ready for this one? Take your kids to any park in town here and watch them kick the ball around or play catch or whatever. You can't have a gun in the park. On the sidewalk, on the street, or in the park. Here we go. Any church or synagogue, you cannot carry your gun or take a gun on the property or the adjacent property, unless the church has a state-authorized sign like the Prop 65 sign, that says, we welcome guns in this premises. So the church has to declare that guns are good. Do you think the insurance company is going to like that? Right? Any financial institution. How many of you guys have to go to the bank? Well, you got to leave it in the truck now. But even the sidewalk, an area around the bank. So even going to the bank will be a problem. Now here's the kicker. Any other privately owned commercial establishment that opens to the public, unless the operator of the establishment clearly and conspicuously posts a sign at the entrance of the building saying, you can have guns here. What does that leave us? There are some people that are defining this, saying that a road is a public access way. Therefore, the sidewalk is a public access way. Therefore, you can't even carry on the sidewalk. We must. Now, I will tell you right now that Chuck Michel's office in Sacramento, he's an attorney. He's the president of the California Rifle and Pistol Association. They already have the lawsuit built the minute this gets passed, because they had it ready for the one last year too. So the minute the Senate passes this and it gets signed by the governor, it's going to get stayed by the CRPA in the state. Now, whether it lasts or not, I will tell you right now that we are grateful that the New York Rifle and Pistol Association right now is already suing New York, and the Supreme Court is going to hear that case here soon. It's on a fast track back to the Supreme Court, and once that happens, it'll invalidate this one again. But that's what we're up against. Now, our two senators are Melissa Hurtado and Shannon Grove. I know Shannon Grove personally. When I ran for assembly, I met with her quite a bit. She's a wonderful lady. She's positive 2A. She's a gun owner herself. I do not know much about Melissa Hurtado. I've never met her before. At least I haven't spent any time with her. But we need to start calling that office and start sending letters telling her not to vote for this. Now remember, there's a supermajority in both the Assembly and in the Senate in California. So they can give her a pass. They can give her a pass and let her vote no, because they have plenty of senators to vote yes. Do you understand? When you have that many in a supermajority, they can play games with us. Look, I supported you all the time knowing that she was given permission to support us by the Democrats. Any questions about what's happening here?
Why are we the victims?
Tell me this. Why are we the victims, right? How many people know? Okay, by the way, the first part of this legislation is 2 pages of road rage, gunfights, this gas station gun, didn't get my gas pump. It has all these examples, right? But nowhere in those examples do they say that was a CCW carrier, that was a gun carrier, and they don't talk about California, they talk about other states. Tell me where CCWs have caused an issue in California. Can anybody tell me where there's a rogue CCW character out there doing this?
Basically, they don't have no data to support that.
They don't. They never do. Just like right now, down in San Diego, Judge Benitez has the magazine, AR ban, and ammo ban on his desk, waiting to make the ruling by the 20th of this month.
But he just seems like he's on our side, though, right?
He's very much on our side. Yeah, he's the one that did the Freedom Week for magazines. He's given the state till the 20th of this month to give their reply. We could be seeing those things very quickly, have another freedom period, a nice long freedom period for our guns. Now, the only laws they could find, they have to show the history and tradition of gun laws in America, and they can't find any. From the beginning to till today, they can't. So they found some 1930s Jim Crow laws prohibiting minorities from having guns. That's the only laws they could find. And they were going to submit that, but it made them look really bad. Right? So, please, guys, If you're in Melissa's district, I'm not worried about Shannon, but if you're in Melissa's district, take a picture of this screen, make phone calls, and send emails, and just everybody. I'm posting this up on YouTube starting tomorrow, and I'm going to tell every single CCW carrier, find your senator, find your assembly person, mail them, email them, call them, just barrage them that this does not get passed, because it will be a very expensive and a very long drawn out court process to get our rights back.